Hello, welcome to our channel Hollywood Celebrities. It's been 16 years since Rick Grimes first woke up in that hospital room and changed television forever. The Walking Dead didn't just redefine the zombie genre, it gave us characters we truly loved, lost, and never forgot. But what happened to the cast after the cameras stopped rolling? Some results will shock you, some will break your heart. Watch until the end, because the last one might be the most surprising of all. Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes. Andrew Lincoln was born on September 14th, 1973 in London, England. He is best known for his role as Rick Grimes in The Walking Dead, the small-town sheriff's deputy who woke up from a coma to find the world overrun by the undead. From the very first episode, Lincoln carried the entire series on his shoulders, delivering one of the most emotionally powerful performances in television history. Rick Grimes became the moral compass, the broken father, and the relentless survivor that millions of fans around the world fell in love with. What many fans didn't know is that Andrew Lincoln made one of the most surprising decisions in Hollywood. He voluntarily walked away from The Walking Dead at the height of its popularity. In season 9, he left the show to return to England and spend more time with his wife and 2 children. It was a bold, deeply personal choice that shocked the entire entertainment industry. For Lincoln, family always came first, even over fame. Now, at 52 years old, Andrew Lincoln is returning to the world of The Walking Dead in the highly anticipated spin-off, The Ones Who Live Alongside Danai Gurira. Older, wiser, and more powerful than ever, Rick Grimes is not done yet, and neither is Andrew Lincoln. Norman Reedus as Daryl Dixon. Norman Mark Reedus entered the world on January 6, 1969 in Hollywood, Florida. Before becoming one of television's most beloved figures, he worked as a model and took on small acting roles for years before landing the part that would change everything. As Daryl Dixon in The Walking Dead, Reedus brought to life a crossbow-wielding, motorcycle-riding loner from the Georgia backwoods, a character who was never supposed to exist. Daryl Dixon was not in the original comic book series, created specifically for the show, and yet he became the single most popular character in the entire franchise. Here is something most fans never realized. Daryl Dixon was almost killed off in the early seasons. The producers originally had no long-term plans for the character, but Norman Reedus' raw, magnetic performance made it impossible. Audiences connected with Daryl on a level nobody expected, forcing the writers to completely rebuild the story around him. The iconic fan chant, "If Daryl dies, we riot," said everything about how deeply people felt. Reedus, at 57 years old, shows no signs of slowing down. His spin-off series, The Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, set across the stunning landscapes of France, has introduced the legendary survivor to an entirely new generation of fans, proving that Daryl Dixon's journey is far from over. Danai Gurira as Michonne. Born on February 14, 1978 in Grinnell, Iowa, Danai Gurira is far more than just an actress. She is a playwright, activist, and one of the most intellectually powerful voices in Hollywood today. When she first appeared in The Walking Dead as Michonne, a hooded warrior wielding a katana with 2 armless walkers on chains, audiences were immediately captivated. Michonne was unlike any character television had ever seen, fierce, mysterious, and emotionally complex in ways that unfolded slowly across seasons. Gurira brought a quiet intensity to the role that made every scene she appeared in unforgettable. Few people know that Gurira almost didn't pursue acting at all. Her original academic path was focused on psychology and African studies. That deep intellectual background is precisely what made her portrayal of Michonne so layered and nuanced. Off-screen, she founded the non-profit organization Love Our Girls, dedicated to empowering young women across Africa and around the world, a cause she continues to champion passionately to this day. Now, 48 years old and more radiant than ever, Gurira reunited with Andrew Lincoln in The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live in 2024, finally giving fans the Rick and Michonne closure they had waited years for. Her journey from Zimbabwe-rooted storyteller to global icon is nothing short of extraordinary. Steven Yeun as Glenn Rhee. Glenn Rhee was the heart of The Walking Dead, the optimistic, quick-thinking pizza delivery guy from Atlanta who proved that kindness could survive even the apocalypse. Behind that unforgettable smile was Steven Yeun, born on December 21, 1983, in Seoul, South Korea, who brought warmth, humor, and quiet heroism to every single scene. Glenn's death in Season 7 at the hands of Negan remains one of the most devastating moments in television history, a scene so brutal that millions of fans genuinely grieved for days. What made Yeun's journey truly remarkable happened after The Walking Dead. He completely reinvented himself as a serious dramatic actor, earning an Academy Award nomination for Minari in 2021, becoming the first Asian American man ever nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars. Now, 42 years old, Steven Yeun is no longer just Glenn Rhee. He's one of Hollywood's most respected talents. Melissa McBride as Carol Pelletier. Carol Pelletier began as the most overlooked character in The Walking Dead, a soft-spoken, abused housewife whom nobody expected to survive past the first season. Yet Melissa McBride, born on May 23, 1965, in Lexington, Kentucky, transformed Carol into something extraordinary across 11 seasons. Through grief, loss, and unimaginable violence, Carol evolved into the most psychologically complex and quietly terrifying survivor in the entire series. McBride delivered this transformation with such subtle, devastating precision that many critics consider her performance the most underrated in television history. The most surprising truth about McBride is that she was originally a casting director in Atlanta before transitioning to acting, meaning she understood the craft from both sides of the camera. That rare perspective is exactly what gave her performances such extraordinary depth and authenticity. Now, 60 years old and completely deserving of every award she never received, Melissa McBride remains the beating emotional heart of the Walking Dead universe, a performer who proved that the quietest voice in the room is sometimes the most powerful one of all. Lauren Cohan as Maggie Green. Maggie Green entered The Walking Dead as a tough, spirited farm girl from rural Georgia and left as one of the most resilient leaders the post-apocalyptic world had ever seen. The woman behind Maggie, Lauren Cohan, born on January 7, 1982, in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, brought an irresistible combination of vulnerability and steel to the role that made audiences invest deeply in her survival from the very beginning. Her love story with Glenn Rhee became the emotional backbone of the entire series, a romance so genuine and heartbreaking that when it ended in Season 7, the shockwave was felt across the entire fandom. Perhaps the most fascinating chapter of Cohan's story is what happened when she walked away. In 2018, she left The Walking Dead to star in the action series Whiskey Cavalier, a bold gamble that ultimately did not pay off. She quietly returned to Maggie Green in Season 10, and rather than fading into the background, she reclaimed her place at the center of the story. Cohan, currently 44 years old, continues carrying Maggie forward in the spin-off The Walking Dead, Dead City, alongside Jeffrey Dean Morgan, proving that some characters simply refuse to be left behind. The Walking Dead was never really about zombies. It was about what people become when everything is stripped away. These actors gave us characters we laughed with, cried over, and never truly let go. Some stories ended too soon, some are still being written, but every single performance left something permanent inside us, a reminder that the best stories don't just entertain, they stay with you for life. Which character meant the most to you? Drop their name in the comments and subscribe to relive more legendary casts that defined a generation.